So,
Yeah, we've had quite a bit of problem with brevity, basically, for this.
yeah. I, I genuinely want Battle Droid C-3PO to be a thing, though.
Yeah, I reckon it'd be a
Because,
cool thing.
well, not because of that. It would mean that they've reached the point where they have to try and rip off the prequels.
Well, they've been
for
doing that
people to-
non-stop, basically.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, in terms of... Yeah, so... I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. So, yeah, this Y-Wing bit here, this would... like, there's a lot of shots in this trailer that would make a really good video game scene.
Yeah.
This shot here would be really good in the video game cutscene.
Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of awkward. Where have these Y-Wings been for the last two movies?
Oh, well, they didn't
They're just
exist
gone.
according to Rian Johnson. You know, people hadn't seen Y-Wings before, so, you know,
Well,
they
no,
just
wasn't
didn't
that,
exist.
wasn't that the right opinion? Defending Ryan Johnson?
Oh, yeah, the wrong opinion, yeah.
I'm pretty sure himself did. Because if he did, that would have been... Oh, man. Can you imagine if Ryan Johnson said that?
Oh,
I
I can imagine it.
mean, I can see it, yeah, but...
Okay, I've just changed the servers because you were roboting like anything, so I've moved it to the Singapore one like normal.
Oh, thank God.
Are you coming
Singapore
through?
saved it.
Who would have thought Singapore would save us?
Well... Many people. Many people.
Alrighty,
Alright.
so
Let's pray.
we'll jump back like 5 seconds, so back to like 38, where the
Right.
big yellow explosion for some reason. Why the explosion's yellow? I don't know. Maybe it's a smoke screen or a signal flare. All I know is it's fucking retarded.
Alright. Yeah, so we go.
Okay.
No. Okay, hold on. Pause.
Yep.
Pause there. Okay, so first off, the problem with this statement that the saga will end is the saga's never fucking ended.
No.
Like, it ended with episode 6, and then the prequels came along, and then, well, it still ended with episode 6, but, you know, the saga came along. And now we have the sequel trilogy, and, like, the saga doesn't end.
I
as
want
long as
Disney's
it's-
reign to end.
Also, we've paused on 146. It's been another 3 seconds, and I want to point out...
I'm at 142. Did you...
Are-
Oh, wait.
I
now it's
jumped
jumped.
ahead.
Yeah, so I'm
I
at
jumped ahead.
142. We're back. I was
Okay.
back at the A-Wing.
Yeah,
Or Y-Wing.
so the next thing, like, immediately is a title that says "Struggle" for the people who can't see it.
Drag it back to
It
140.
jumped ahead to 146 again for me.
Yep, drag it back to
Yeah, this
140 for yourself.
Okay, done. All right,
Okay.
go for it.
Okay.
Your destiny.
No. No.
How the fuck is was it BB-8 keeping up with those whatever the
no,
the
lavitz,
retarded
lavitz. Move
seahorses?
forward. Unpause it just a second, and then pause it again. So with that smoke in this... Look, pause. Did you see that?
What did I say? I'm
Go
saying the
back a
story
second to-
lives forever.
Go back a second to 146.
146.
Is
Yep.
that a fucking star? Are those fucking horses on
On
a
a
Star
starship.
Destroyer in space?
It very much could be.
No. Oh God, they're... This isn't real, is it?
Well,
They didn't...
I'm swirling toast, so obviously I've had a stroke. Because
Okay.
this is the only reason way this could make sense is if I was having a stroke and I was dead and I was being tortured by some kind of weird abstract reality TV bullshit.
Okay. So, they're doing a horse charge in space
On a
on
Star,
a Star
Destroyer.
Destroyer with horses that are clearly not dead, and they're not wearing any of the space helmets. that are available.
And the rolling soccer ball is keeping up with them. Keeping up with a horse. Let that sink in.
Oh god. So spacewalks didn't really show up in the mainline movies from what I remember. But there were a few instances in the Clone Wars where they did. And whenever they did, like, clone armor was good. You know, it would protect people from space for a bit. But like, you know, Jedi who didn't have that would need to wear some form of mask or something.
Yeah.
Like an oxygen
like
tank.
Even
like
Plo Koon had to wear
do.
a mask.
Well, Plo Koon wore a mask because his species couldn't survive in normal atmosphere.
He was the best character in Jedi Power Battle. I just have to say, he was the best character in Jedi Power Battle.
And in the Malevolence arc in the Clone Wars, where it's just like, we're clones, sir. We're supposed to be expendable. And then he just goes, not to me.
I never.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and then he gets killed by those very clones.
Yeah, it sucks, you know.
But Plo Koon was always my favourite one. And I know I say it wrong, but that's how I read it back in the day, and now I can't unsay it.
I like how that was what, like a 2-minute part about Clone Wars in this not Clone Wars related thing.
Yeah, this isn't even related to Star Wars anymore.
What happened?
Disney.
All right, keep going. We're gonna power through this. Okay. No.
See, that's. Remember, you thought the other room was the Palpatine's room.
Yeah, you're right.
At 149. This is Palpatine's room.
Yeah. So you're right. I was wrong on that one. But this little text bit here that the story lives forever.
I want the story to die. I want the story to die. Please.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. The new movies have tainted Star Wars so much in my eyes that I have trouble enjoying the prequels and the OT now. Just because I know how terrible it's going to get. It's almost like the people for Game of Thrones who can't stand Game of Thrones anymore because of the final season.
Can you imagine, right? If you went into cinemas in when did the first Star Wars come out? Like 1978, somewhere around there. You know, you have show up. You know, you interview the people coming out of the cinema for the first viewing ever of Star Wars Episode 4, or Star Wars back then, and they're just like, oh, what do you think of this Luke Skywalker character? And they're just like, whoa, he was so cool. You know, he's got all this stuff. And then I'm like, well, what if I told you in Episode 5, you know, he goes on to do this and da-da-da, and they'd be like, whoa, cool. And then and then in Episode 6 he does this, and they're like, whoa. And then, you know, like I go...
And then Episode 7 he stands on a cliff.
And then I'm like, and then like 40 years from now, there'll be a sequel trilogy to this, and they're going to be like, oh shit, is Luke in it? I'm like, yeah. And he stands on a cliff, and he says that he went somewhere to die, and he's a pathetic old man, and he sucks.
Yep.
And they're just like, wait.
He hates the Jedi, and he wants to die.
No.
Also, he stood on a cliff in the first one.
Yeah, and as you explain, like, how it happened, what goes on with Luke in like Episode 7, they're just like, oh, that sounds really cool, like a really good setup. And then I'm like, and then this is what happens in Episode 8, and they're just like, oh, and you just see the light in their eyes die. Like, actually, pick a kid and just say that to them. I guarantee you. Like, ugh.
Yeah, like I said in the previous episode, it's literally like if, you know, when we were talking about it being a Christmas present, basically. You know, first people find out Father Christmas isn't real, and then they find out, like, then they watch this shit. It's going to cause kids to become suicidal. No wonder freaking, you know, birth rates are dropping. People don't want to subject their kids to this.
Well, that and a few other things, but yeah. You know, it sucks seeing this thing that you love die. Like
It's like
this,
the death
this
of
is
a thousand cuts
Yeah, well,
and a million screams.
The Last Jedi happened, and I just stopped getting excited for Star Wars movies now.
Yeah.
Like, I look at this, and I'm thinking, what is there that they're going to do? They're going to... Like, Kylo's been the main villain of the series, or of this trilogy,
And he
has
gets
been
his
beaten
ass kicked every
twice.
fucking time.
Yeah, and then his boss, he died in the last one.
Yeah.
And now they have to bring back Palpatine.
Yeah, and
So
honestly,
he's gonna
have you
die.
noticed that in this entire trailer we haven't seen Hux?
Yeah. Have you heard the leaks where he's like a rebel double agent, and that's why he was acting so stupidly in the last one?
Oh, that sounds just retarded.
Yeah.
Because he
And
was the
that's
one.
the
He
thing.
was the one
I
that
can see
friggin'
it
brought in what was it, 7? He was the one that brought the information about the bloody rebel base.
Yeah. Like the thing is, this trilogy doesn't respect the characters from the OT. It doesn't respect the characters from this trilogy. What is there to work with?
It doesn't respect anything except friggin' the pretty light shows and I don't know, China.
Not even that. They have a black guy in it. Have you seen the posters for episode, I believe, 7? They massively reduced Finn in size because Chinese audiences didn't want it. They haven't apparently been doing very good there either. So, I guess one of the few times I agree with the Chinese on something.
Though personally, I reckon Finn should have had a completely different character. He was like the like defected stormtrooper. That could have been a really good storyline, but they just ballsed it up.
The chemistry between him and Poe when they first show up was so good.
Yeah, that was almost
and then
like
it's just dropped for a completely different.
They almost became
character.
Han and Chewie for a bit when they're in the thing. They're Han and Chewie basically.
Yeah, they're getting along. They're getting along well. It's like these two have just met and they're doing really well. I can't wait to see these. And then it's just, oh no, Poe's dead. And
it was at the begin. It was almost had the making of a buddy cop movie almost.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit, like back at the beginning of the Force Awakens, I saw that and I was like, oh, I really like this. Like the coupling thing was stupid, or they can't break free of it, but. Like everything, but the parts with the characters, that's really cool. I really like that. And then it just goes to Finn and Rey.
Although you have Finn, bloody one stormtrooper dies, he has a panic attack, and then he literally mows down like 24 of the bastards, and he's like, "Woohoo! I'm killing my friends now."
I know these people. We're from the same planet. we were all orphans.
It's like, but no one brings it up because I guess maybe it's black on black crime.
No, it's black on white crime. So, because they're all wearing white armor, so they're all white, probably.
Yeah, but Finn's also wearing white armor. Don't
ask questions. Don't ask questions.
Just consume.
Also, I just want to point out that it looks like Rey and Kylo are going to face off in the throne room of the Death Star.
Yeah, but looks like their hair is dry, so this is obviously probably before they actually fight on the bridge or whatever it is.
My money's on it being later, honestly. But
both dry,
anything could happen.
And
doesn't
look like Rey has a cape.
I don't think Rey had a cape on.
Didn't she have a cape earlier?
She did, but that was with the C-3PO.
Oh wait, if I look closer, it's still there. It was just tucked back, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I had a look at the footage that we recorded earlier, yesterday, and she was actually wearing her desert clothing underneath the hooded clothing that she was wearing.
Yeah, but it's still at the very least.
So she's still in her desert clothing. She's just got a jacket on, basically.
Well, at least she put something on that's different.
But still
Like,
can't close a fucking mouth.
It's like she has. It's like she has one pair of clothes,
That she just...
and I can't for the life of me understand why the costume department didn't change that. I really don't.
Hell, even Lando freaking changed his clothes in, like, over scenes in Empire Strikes Back. He's wearing Han's
Lavitz,
clothes.
That was a good movie. That was a good movie.
I still think Return of the Jedi is my favourite one. I know that's
I'm gonna be
controversial.
honest. I loved Attack of the Clones.
Same here.
That's probably my favorite.
Attack of the Clones.
So,
of all six of the proper Star Wars movies.
yeah, the worst. Attack of the Clones has problems, but it's a lot more fun, you know, like than the new ones. 100%. Like the romance part, the lines aren't that good, but
Maybe it's
when you
because I
look
was
at
younger
this-
when I watched it, but I don't find the lines cringy or anything like that personally.
I didn't when I first watched it, but now that I go back and it's like I don't like sand, and this is a romantic line, and I'm like, you know, it's a good chuckle, but it's a lot better. Like it's a lot better than the quote unquote romance in episode 8 that was going on.
Personally,
It's like
you
we
could swap
touched
it.
fingers,
It's like,
so I can say.
I don't like Disney. It's coarse, rough, irritating, and it's retarded all over the place.
Well, and it gets everywhere.
And it gets everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, that's. How long's our tangent? How long is that about?
Our
That's not
tangent
even-
has been about 8 minutes, I think.
Oh boy, yeah. I mean, geez. Honestly, at this point, EFAP is slacking.
Yeah, they're not bringing their A game anymore.
I mean, in fairness, their intro was longer than ours, but
Well, our first
didn't-
intro was at for the first one was like 8 or 9 minutes, I think, before we actually
Yeah.
pressed play.
yeah. But for EFAP, before they did it, it was about 9 to 10 or so.
Oh
So,
but,
yeah, they did
But
beat
don't
us.
forget
They
they
did
normally
beat us.
do them live, so therefore they have to filibuster for 10 minutes or so for people to fan in.
Oh well, this was for the mini though. Like
Yeah,
when
I think they do them live as
ones-
well sometimes.
Oh, I didn't think so, but all right, I guess.
I'm not sure, maybe.
Ooh,
Either way, let's
I
press
don't
play.
think so. I haven't got it.
I'm
Yeah.
at 149.
I am as well. So
Okay,
just hit it.
and we got the story lives forever, and them two standing
Well, the story
in the
lives
ruins
forever.
of what was
but
good Star Wars. Actually, this is a
The-
pretty
the
good
good-
metaphor.
the good
We
story-
got the two characters we don't care about in the wrecks and remains of something that was once good.
What's unfortunate is Kylo is probably one of the better characters in the sequel trilogy.
He always looks like he's 2 seconds away from crying. I don't know, but maybe it's just the actor, but every scene I've seen him in, he always looks like he's about to cry.
That's still actually better than Rey's character amount, though.
Yeah, 1 minute
In
she
fairness.
tears up, and then she's standing with her mouth open or crying. That's
I mean-
basically her character.
Who else is there new who has really emotion? Like Holdo?
Actually, probably BB-8 buddy does the most amount of emotion out of everything.
Yeah, BB-8's really good at emoting, which is
And I hate
one of the
BB-8.
which is one of the well one of the good parts of the sequel trilogy I'll say is that BB-8 is really emotive.
Yeah.
That's nice, you know.
But he
It's
still
just a
pales
shame
in
that-
comparison to R2.
Yeah, it's just a shame that he's in this. Like, there's a few parts of episode 7 and 8 where it's like, yeah, I can see why people like these.
Yeah. There was potential.
Yeah, but the good doesn't outweigh the bad.
Glimmers of hope
So-
hidden in massive piles of shit. Either way, let's click play.
Yeah, let's. Okay, Finn's yelling at something
Okay, and now
Um,
they're teaming up.
on what looks like a stone.
Is that a statue
in a
of Vader? I'm just going to bring that back.
Okay, go back. 1 second to 150. Okay, no, that's Finn yelling.
Okay, there's Finn.
Just a little bit further, I guess. What we'll do?
I'm just going to come back and press play.
We'll decrease the speed to 5.
We can decrease the speed. How?
Yeah. Instead, there's
yep.
a little time,
yep. I'll put
and then you can bring it down to 0.5.
Put to 0.25.
Oh yeah, that looks like Palpatine's robes.
Palpatine's robes?
But like it kind of looks like a statue of Palpatine with his robes.
Bring it back one more time and have a look. But it's very short.
Yeah, it's odd. I'm not sure what exactly. Yeah, it's strange. Like, I'm pretty sure that this is just there so that people will speculate what it is.
Yeah.
But, like, and Kylo has his mask again.
Yeah, he's changing clothes quite often. Rey's still exactly the same. Still looks perfect. But look at how they're fucking standing and swinging their weapon.
Well, why are they here? What even is here? Is this a rebel ship? Is this resistance? Or is this like
it looks like a city,
First
actually.
Order?
It looks like a city. If you look in the back right, that looks like there's a city up the back there.
Is this Cloud City too?
No, Cloud City is orange. Like the area when I look at it is orange.
No, I mean like I'm referring to it as like a ripoff of Cloud City.
Very much likely.
Like PWO.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I know. Just look at how they're swinging their lightsabers. It's retarded.
Oh, it's Finn, Poe, and C-3PO. Remember?
Wait, where?
Or was that Finn? No, they are running on a Star Destroyer in space. With horses.
Wait, I'm at 140... I'm 154.
Okay, I'll move back to 154 as well.
Yours keeps jumping forward like 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So if you can see, right, it's the charge scene again, and you can tell it's EV8, but it's from another angle.
I'm gonna where it's showing Poe, Finn, and C-3PO.
Right,
and a lens flare.
Back a little bit further, then.
154.
Yeah. I'm on 153, just barely.
Okay, I'll bring back to 153. There we go.
So.
And
right,
of course, J.J. Abrams gotta have lens flares.
Look, all right. At least we haven't seen any shaky cam fight scenes. At least, but they'll probably be in there anyway because that's all current Hollywood really has, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
and what is with all the lightning constantly striking their ships? There's lightning every fucking where. And yes, they're in space,
it's the lightning,
or at least in the outer atmosphere.
First off, how did the horses get there?
Yep.
Second off, why are they charging on a Star Destroyer? What is the point of that?
Especially when
what are they charging against?
Especially when there's freaking the engines are like right next to them. All the person next to do in the ship next door just hit their engine and they're incinerated.
Not even that. Did you see that TIE fighter fly by?
And how many ships are there? I'm counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. At least 30, 35 ships there.
They copy-pasted them in the background there.
Yeah, exactly. They're all on the same angle. It's literally copy-pasted.
Yeah. It's like how, if you saw the that one poster for the movie where it's Palpatine in the background, but it's a Palpatine toy they took a picture of.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. I don't know why Disney has all this money. They literally spend probably close to $1 billion on this movie, and it looks cheap. That makes sense to you? Like the forest scene, that looked like graphics from a friggin' PS3 game.
Well, the first, this Star Destroyer here kind of looks good, Like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
But then all the ones in the background look weird.
But it still looks like the top of a Star Destroyer from the green screen ones from the prequels.
Yeah.
And how everything had that air of fakeness to it? Like,
kinda, yeah.
I'm pretty sure George Lucas did something like this in the old day, like in the original, in the OTs, that actually have proper sets made up and they'd be painted and look all good. This just looks...
Like, the Death Star one was that, wasn't it? It was all practical.
Yeah, they did all practical stuff. Like, they actually got stuff set up in, like, car parks and stuff. If you look at some of the makings of it, and they had, like, cars drive past and they were, like, hitting things and it was making, like, sparks and shit. You know,
why is the Star Destroyer perpendicular to all the other ones? Like, if you look at it, all the other ones are angled towards the right, but this one's pointing towards the other ones. Maybe they're all charging, they're going to pull out a lance and go medieval on it. The next thing you see, the dude who played the Joker running through on his horse going, William! I've got another question, actually. Because this just reminded me of, like, all those Star Destroyers in the background are just asking for hyperspace kamikaze.
Yeah, this.
But also remember that.
Please let this one do a kamikaze. That way, all the characters will die.
No, hold on. Remember the big dense bunch of rebel ships earlier in the trailer?
Yes, vaguely.
How did they all get in that position? Like,
well, it was like I said, it's very Mass Effect 3-ish.
Yeah, but that's also really weak to hyperspace.
Exactly.
We literally just
saw
like something similar in the last movie.
It looked like they were forming a blockade, basically.
But that
all we need is one of these ships here to turn hyperspace jump. There goes an entire fleet. It's kind of like who's the first to do a hyperspace jump, and then victory, then cake. Hyperspace jump, then cake.
My question is how JJ is going to remove that. Is he going to just make
it's going to be hyperspace
that...
kamikaze blocker unit or something like that.
Yeah, or he'll just forget about it.
Yeah, they just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
you see, the character heard some bells and just kind of forgot about it.
Okay, we're almost less than 38 seconds away. We can do this.
It's only been 27 minutes and 40 seconds recording. Okay.
14 seconds. Lavitz, that's how far we are.
We're making progress. Okay.
That was a B-wing I saw, so that's good.
Yep, that was a B-wing.
I'll
just talk
nice to see that they're back. Even turn it back to what?
This to the B-wing. Oops.
Yeah, so that's what, 57? 56?
56.
Oh, yeah, there's another shot of Kylo at 57.
57, I think.
Yeah, so there's a big battle in space.
It's amazing how his scar just disappears. They couldn't heal Luke's scar on his face, but they could heal a lightsaber scar and move it.
Well, there's lightning again. Seriously. What's with the lightning? Is this...
That's what I was bringing up. Like, there's lightning everywhere.
Is this the Force Ghost?
There's a ship coming out of the ice. There's lightning striker. There's ships in the space. There's lightning striker. There's ships on the outer atmosphere. Lightning striking. There's lightning every fucking where.
Have the Force Ghosts finally shown up to do things?
Maybe it's a metaphor. We can make lightning strike twice. I swear.
No.
No, that happened 30 years ago, mate.
No, we can make Yoda strike the lightning again. All the Force Ghosts come back and they just strike lightning on the bad
like
guys
I said,
and around
it's the freaking Force lightning bender theory that I've got. You know, all the Star Wars Jedi's ghosts are going to come up and they're going to lightning all the bad guys, and then cake, and then everybody hugs.
I'm looking forward to seeing Red-Eyed C-3PO and what he's doing, because if it's anything, because what he's doing will vastly change whether or not I'm right or you're right. Because we could both be right, we could both be completely wrong.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we're both wrong.
One of us.
Our expectations will be subverted. Like I was
I hope we're
initially,
both
like I
wrong,
was initially
but-
hoping for something good, but my expectations are going to be subverted.
Well, at this point, I don't think hope will save it.
Nah, my hope is dead for this
Just
franchise.
well,
but
let's hit it. Let's hit it.
hit
We'll keep it. We'll
we
keep
got
going.
we got sexy Kylo with more lightning.
Oh, he's. Oh no, that was a hooded. That was a hooded robe.
That
and
looked like Palpatine actually.
It did. Yeah.
And my screen's gone black.
Coming towards Rey.
Yep.
So is mine.
Okay, I'm at
And
59.
So he's got like a. He's got like a little backpack thing. It looks like on his head. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking
It's
at
almost like a space marine pack.
Yeah, it looks like he's sitting in some kind of techno chair.
Oh god, they're not making him Darth Maul thing again, are they?
I know. Maybe
Also,
he's
what
in
are-
a big robot.
Is that ice? She's standing
No,
on.
if you ask me, it looks like it's an old ruin. Like, remember how it had the old ruin chair with all the scratch marks and shit on it earlier?
Yeah, but wasn't that Snoke's? I thought.
That might
You
have been
mentioned.
Snoke's, but this does. I have a feeling they might go to Korriban.
Oh god.
I just have a feeling that because Snoke's chair was in a ruin, right? Then the chair looked like
we
it was
saw-
abandoned, and old black stone shit.
And they were fighting in front.
And everything the Sith had in Korriban was always carved into stone, for the most part.
Oh man, gonna have.
And this looks like the floor of a ruin, so I'm getting a feeling that we're gonna get Korriban.
It kind of does look like ice too, though.
Yeah.
So it could be we could be both right. It could be like ice ruin.
Mm.
You know, you have. It's like the Legend of Zelda. You've got the water ruins, the ice ruins, the fire
Forest.
ruin. Yeah. All right, 2 minutes. We're
I swear,
38 seconds left. We can do it.
The Force will be with you.
Okay, the Force be with you, Ray.
Always.
Still got the mouth open.
Yeah. Well, it was pretty close to being close that time. Pause. He's dead. He's dead. You can't rise. You're dead.
Yep. There is no
Just-
Viagra. He will never rise again.
Unless it means that he's a Force ghost and he can shoot the lightning like Yoda.
Maybe. Rises from the grave.
Also, did you notice that was our longest time without a pause? I was like,
Yeah,
Almost 8
but what
seconds.
was it? It was a black screen and a title screen. That was it.
exactly.
And I still reckon Rise of Skywalker is a stupid fucking name.
What? You don't think that the thing where it tells you what it's about, you know, like you get the Phantom Menace, which is referencing the fact that Palpatine is secret the bad guy who's manipulating everything, or Attack of the Clones, where it's literally a movie that's building up to a fight with clones, or Revenge of the Sith, where the Sith, you know, take revenge on the Jedi for
Yeah, but
keeping them in the
I
dark
still
this
reckon
whole
Rise
time.
of Skywalker is just a... I don't know. It just doesn't sound like a Star Wars movie title.
Well, like The Last Jedi, like aside from out of all the sequel trilogy names, like The Last Jedi is the only one that sounds like it could actually be in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it does have
and it's
probably
not
the
a
most...
Star Wars movie that's the worst.
Yeah, it probably does have the closest thing
Like
to an actual Star Wars name.
what does The Force Awakens actually tell you about what's going to be in the movie?
Nothing.
There's the Force, sure, and it's awakening, but what does that mean? What
Well,
does
it
the
awakens
Rise
the
of
Last
Skywalker
Jedi
mean?
from a bad dream.
Yeah, but like with the names, you can fairly easily figure out what they mean. You know, based on when you watch the movie.
Yeah, it has a
Like,
thing
A
of
New
the
Hope.
aspect.
It-
You know?
Yeah, like Empire Strikes Back. It's the Empire fighting the rebels
Yep, striking
And-
back
and-
against the rebels.
decisively and winning a decisive victory.
Yeah. The Clone Wars, it
Return-
sparks the
Return of the
beginning
Jedi.
of the
It's-
Clone Wars, where clones began to be used in the war.
Yeah.
The Revenge of the Sith
Return,
is the
Return,
Sith taking
Return of the
revenge
Jedi
on the Jedi.
is when Return of the Jedi is when Luke becomes a Jedi, but also brings Vader back into the light side, Jedi's side. But
returning back to the good side.
like you can, there's
You can
there's
unpack the title.
ways. Yeah, you can figure it out. Like, and then at the end of the movie, you can be like, oh, that's what they meant by this. And with The Last Jedi, it's like,
I guess
okay,
with The Force Awakens, you could say that Disney has forced the Star Wars to be reawakened, even though it should stay asleep.
that still doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
Disney is forcing the Force. They're just forcing it.
This is also the longest Star Wars title, I'd like to point out.
The Rise
And
of Skywalker?
It's the most nonsensical.
Yeah.
I think in terms of words it is. In terms of words it is. And it's also the most nonsense-looking one.
The Return of Jedi. No, it's probably shorter. The Return of the Jedi is, 5 words?
Oh, yeah, good point.
But I don't know. There's just something about it that just rubs me the wrong way.
It's off. It's an odd title.
It's like, God damn it, rub with the grain, not against it.
Well, it might be because none of the other movies have actually mentioned in the title, like, the character names.
Yeah.
Or at least none of the mainstream ones have.
It's always been A New Hope, The Revenge of something, The Phantom Menace. There's just been stuff in...
Or, like, it'll mention groups like Jedi or Sith, but it won't mention, like, specific people.
Yeah. Not to mention, wasn't this supposed to be the end of the Skywalker saga? So the final one for the end of the Skywalkers is the Rise of the Skywalker. So the Rise of the Skywalker is going to be the end of the Skywalker.
How is this the Skywalker saga though? Like,
I have not seen a Skywalker in there at all. We got Jake Skywalker, but we haven't got freaking Luke Skywalker.
No, like the seventh movie.
We got the old huggy lady
at the very end. So I mean, technically, Leia, I guess, but
yeah, but all she does is hug people and fly in space. She hasn't really done anything.
She doesn't really do she briefs people on the big space station.
Yeah, but when you think about it,
they're only at the end.
When you think about it, the only thing she's done basically the same as Mon Mothma from Empire and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, so
she stands there for a second, gives a bit of exposition, and that's the end.
I guess the family is there, but geez, honestly, if this series could just stop with the parts where it's like, oh, and here's a story about the same family fucking the galaxy up. Because there's so much more that happens.
Kylo isn't even a Skywalker.
Well, technically he is because Leia's his mom.
He's a Solo.
Well, Lavitz, that's where you're wrong because Leia's his mom, and Leia was a Skywalker. So
yeah, but generally when you take the last name, you take the father's last name for most times.
Well,
unless it's a single-parent household.
Yeah, but I mean, like the whole thing is, this entire thing has just been like there's so much more that's going on in the galaxy, other than just this one family screwing things up. Yeah. But we keep going back to them, and it's
I just want I want a bit of exposition about what's going on in the galaxy like we had in Phantom Menace and stuff. Like, people complained that, the Senate meetings were boring, but they gave you aspects, they told you what's going on in the galaxy.
They fleshed out the world a bit, didn't they?
Exactly.
And even like, there were throwaway lines in A New Hope where it's like, we've dissolved the Galactic Senate, and it's like, that informs us of the world and how it works.
And she's like, the Senate will not approve of this happening. And it's like, well, the Senate doesn't exist anymore, so you're kind of fucked. And it's kind of like, whoa. That's there may be throwaway lines, but they've actually got impact.
Yeah, and it's like, with, what's it?
It's kind of like the new Ghostbusters.
In episode
people
5, when they get when they get the bounty hunters, you know, like we've never seen them before, but it would make sense that there would be mercenaries, and so.
And it also gives you that bounty hunters are looked down upon by the Empire, you know.
Or just
we don't need them.
Or just
we don't need their scum.
Yeah, and it's this whole thing. It's like, yeah, there's a world outside, you know. There's bounty hunters, and it's a world, and it's changing, and it's got all this stuff. Like, we're focused on the conflict between these two factions, but
there is a wider picture.
There's people outside of that. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like have you watched the new the new Ghostbusters movie?
The 2016 reboot.
Yeah.
I only watched the first movie, like the original.
Well, basically, in the new one, people always talk about how did they get the money for this, and a lot of the big defense was, oh well, you know, they never brought up how they got the money in the first one, which is bullshit. They explained it in throwaway lines about how they got the money for all their stuff.
Yeah,
and yet people never seem to bring that up.
Well, like, throwaway lines, you know, they're good ways of explaining things that would otherwise be plot holes.
Yeah, because
without like taking up so much screen time.
Yeah, because you hear Ray, he's like, when they're walking out of a bank, and he's like, I really don't want to do this. That's my parents. You know, my parents left me that house, and it's like, oh come on, everybody's got 3 mortgages these days. That is explaining how they got the money for their thing. And you know, that's a world-building thing and explains a lot, and it's just a freaking 5-6 second throwaway scene. But they don't even have that kind of stuff in The Last Jedi. And the
well, no, there's a few. I think there's a few
like
expositional ones.
How'd you get that? Questions for another time, and that's it. That's basically the attitude that Disney's got, is questions for another time.
Well, you could just be like, oh, I know a guy.
Yep.
And you don't necessarily need to elaborate on that, but
you can just be like, well, traded in by a junker.
Yeah.
You know,
or like, you know, the miners found it when they were going down.
Yeah.
Not hard.
It's like, I used to work in the sewers. Either way, let's press play to see what's happening in the last...
We have
15, 16, 17...
22 seconds. 22 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. 2:16.
December 20th? What a terrible Christmas present.
So there's 18. Okay. That's it. That's the end.
Okay.
Unless... Yeah, let's just keep it going.
Jedi versus... Sith versus Jedi, Skywalker Saga... What the... Oh, is that one that keeps making fun of, like, all the good characters?
Maybe. I don't know.
I want to steer clear from it anyway. But... I'm still pissed off about how they made Kelly Tran look in there. You know... Just look at it, and she's just like... It's literally like they've packed on, like... They've, like, stuffed her mouth full of, like, cotton balls and shit like that. Feel sorry for her.
Yeah. I can't... I'm surprised, honestly. I don't like it. It's not that great.
No. It is not.
Like, this isn't...
I'd normally say I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed, but I'm disappointed and a bit angry. But mostly disappointed.
I don't know if there's anything that actually happens other than... Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't... There's nothing that happens at the end. Until the end, it's just...
It'd just be the...
just that, yeah.
Yeah, just the previews. So what is this bloody...
What a bunch of nonsense.
I know... what was a big point of the trailer that actually stood out, that actually looked good? I'm trying to think. Like, the set pieces looked reasonably well. Like, the practical set pieces that you could see, they looked reasonably well. You know,
the Y-wing scene looked all right.
Yeah.
That was a few seconds. So
the CGI looked passable for maybe a PS3, maybe a PS4.
Well, I mean, like, that's the kind of... Ugh.
They actually the CGI looked basically on par with like episode 1 style.
Yeah.
But that's
The
only
little
20
alien
years
guy.
old. Oh, that
The
little
little alien
ugly
guy looked pretty okay.
thing. That little ugly thing with the helmet.
Yeah, he looked pretty... Yeah.
Where was that? That was like let me just before this.
C3. When he was wiring C3POs.
I don't know.
I still don't know why they're doing...
It looks like an old 90s toy.
Like Gremlins?
Kinda, yeah. But to me, it just doesn't... Actually, it looks kind of shit, if you ask me. Like, you're just obsessed with getting BattleBot C3PO, aren't you?
Well, what else is there? What else is there to go on?
But
to look forward to?
Have a look at it. Why do you keep jumping back to that?
There's nothing else, man.
Well, we don't get red-eyed C3PO. Last time we saw him, pole dancing while bloody in Mad Max.
If I remember correctly, in the last one in Mad Max, it kind of looked like he had a gun. But
which is stupid. He's a protocol droid. He's designed to follow you around and translate shit. He's not supposed to be a battle droid.
Well, look, alright? Honestly, like, there's no... I don't have any investment in Rey and Kylo. I know how that's going to go down. Rey's going to beat Kylo again. Kylo's probably going to die. Maybe he'll have a redemption arc. A small one. Like Vader.
He'll have a redemption arc where he probably dies to destroy Sidious.
He'll die to destroy Palpatine.
Yep.
Again.
Or Snoke.
Palpatine will be back.
Or a clone of Rey. Like there'll be an evil clone of Rey or something like that.
Oh yeah, with the Swiss Army knife lights. I still can't believe that design.
Nunchuck's lightsaber.
Yeah, and that's awful. Like, Darth Maul had a double-edged lightsaber, and he didn't have any fancy stuff with that. He just had a double-edged lightsaber.
He just used it as he used it as a glaive.
Pretty much. Like, with this, what is the point of a lightsaber where if you do it wrong, you can cut yourself? Like, if you point the hinge at the wrong way, you'll be cutting yourself in half.
Yep.
So, why would you do that?
Not to mention, if a certain amount of pressure gets pushed on it on one angle, what if the locking mechanism doesn't work properly? All of a sudden, it's going to fold straight on you.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, I don't know what Hux is going to do, and his character's been butchered in the last one.
Oh, he'll just pratfall and probably go the way of Phasma.
Well, Leia's
big
probably
question.
Gonna die.
Do you think Phasma will come back?
No, not please. For the love of God, they better not.
I have a feeling they will. Because of her actions and her character.
I don't want that to be true.
I'm just saying, we can relate to her through her actions and her character.
You know, the thing is, right, one of my projects for school was comparing 3 different things. And so I chose, 3 different pencil brands. I was more invested in that than
Phasma?
I am with this, with this trilogy. Like, there's nothing to latch onto. There's nothing to get excited for. We're gonna go on a journey, and we're gonna be taken places, and whether we like it or not, we're gonna see Rey fight Kylo again.
Probably multiple times. They're gonna join forces at one point, we see.
Yeah, well, of course they have to, because that's how the trailer looks. We're gonna see Palpatine come back, even though that completely ruins the
6
OT
movies.
where they kill him.
It ruins literally 6 movies.
Well, it ruins the first 3 because it's just like, oh, well, this big bad villain this guy who Darth Vader gave his life to kill, he's back. He's just You know, he didn't. He didn't.
That was
die.
Vader's basically life.
That was his.
That was his destiny.
Redemption.
That was his destiny.
Yeah, and that was his redemption. And then with the prequels, they built Palpatine up into like a fully fleshed out character.
Yeah.
Despite not being that good of movies themselves.
Yeah.
And so
he was a bit underdeveloped in the first in the OT, but he had presence.
Yeah, he was an imposing villain, and he wasn't really anything more than that. He was just the big boss.
Yeah, he was the personification of like dark side and temptation. He wasn't physically threatening. He was, he was the kind of thing that is going to creep into your mind and fuck you over. And that was his thing. He was like this evil guy trying to corrupt Luke.
Yeah,
but it wasn't Palpatine's story. It was Luke and Vader's.
The prequels, when you saw it, right, like there was precedent that they gave. So Anakin becomes like really close with Palpatine, and then you can even see that in Episode 6, where he's like, "You've done really good."
Yeah,
good
he's
job.
like the father. He's like his father figure.
Yeah, it's a really neat little detail that fits in. And the thing with the prequels is, if you look at there's a YouTube video called Obi-Wan Has PTSD, and it's the scene from Episode 4 where Obi-Wan's talking to Luke about his dad, and while having flashbacks of the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. That was actually pretty well done.
Yeah, and like even without those parts, the acting is really good. But when you consider the context of the prequel trilogy, suddenly those acting moments are so much more impactful.
Yeah, they're amplified.
Even though like the prequel trilogy itself wasn't that good, it significantly improves the original trilogy.
Oh, and I love the prequels. I've always loved and I've always defended the prequels because they may not be perfect, but they're fun, and they keep to the law. They don't break the law. They
you can see that it's sort of they're sort of made to expand the universe.
Yeah,
while exactly also providing a bit more.
They amplify the universe as opposed to actually just breaking down and ripping apart the universe like these movies have done so far.
Well, The Force Awakens is such a small scale. There's apparently a Republic, but we never see it until they're wiped out, all 5 planets.
Yeah, and apparently everything was on like 5 planets.
Yeah.
Millions of planets in the universe, but those 5 planets somehow everybody gets destroyed, and 2 hours later everybody knows who Snoke is, and they're all down there sucking his dick.
Yeah. No one, like, when they destroyed the planet Death, or whatever it was called, I forget the name.
Which
you just
the Death Star planet. I can't remember what that one was, but it was the Hosnium system that was destroyed.
Yeah, but they just nuked 5 planets. Yeah. So
you think that
immediately after,
everybody would be in uproar, wouldn't you?
The thing gets destroyed. Yeah. Like, you would expect that to just immediately have everyone...
That is literally like I don't know, like, say the KKK nuking Washington. And people aren't going to be like, oh, well, the KKK is our leader now. They'd be like, oh, you fucking cunts, we're gonna beat the shit out of you. It's the entire premise of freaking World War II, basically.
Well, especially when the weapon that they use to do that is just gone. It's just like, so in your KKK analogy, it's like, okay, so the KKK nuked Washington,
but it was their only
charge. But then a stunning militia group took out their nuclear capacity or whatever, and the thing is, right, KKK has like 3,000 members, and that's pretty much the equivalent of the First Order in this.
Pretty much, yeah.
So they shouldn't be able to win. But then in The Last Jedi, they just...
But then they found the copy-paste function, and... Yeah, now they're
which is ridiculous.
They're like Uber. Just the more they fail, the stronger they get.
Well, isn't that like the idea of the Saiyan race in Dragon Ball? Like, the more they
Yeah,
the
the more they get
closer
their
to death they become, the more powerful they become.
Yeah, when they recover from near death, they come back stronger. So you got to either kill them all, you got to kill them completely, or just leave them the fuck alone. But the longer they battle, the stronger they get. Like the protracted battles kind of thing is, basically is the First Order. You defeat them almost, and then they come back like twice as strong.
Yeah, and
unless they're Broly. No, they're actually more like Broly. They just keep multiplying their power for no fucking reason.
I don't get this. Like, oh god, I think we should end the recording there.
Yep, I think we're recording because it's been 55 minutes. So, yeah.
Well, not just that, but I would just like to talk to you about something else. Anything else that's good.
Yeah, I'm kind of burnt out on Star Wars. And think of it, this thing, like, imagine if we actually watched the whole movie together. And we're doing this. It'd probably be like a 48-hour stream. Alright, I'm going to stop the recording now.
Alright.